Hi, and welcome back to Box Office Maniacs. Now tonight, I have something kind of weird to talk about. It's something that's been in my head for the last couple of weeks, and I finally went out and bought this film that I've been thinking about. And I'm still kind of sick, as you can tell, so I'm trying to get through these reviews without my voice going out. But this movie has been in my head for a little while, so I went out and actually bought it. Now, what this is called, some of you might remember, it's called Pale Rider, if you can see it without the glare. Pale Rider. It's a Clint Eastwood film. Now, the reason why I'm going to be talking about and reviewing this film is because this was my very first Western I ever went to the theater to go see. Now, of course, I had seen Westerns. I mean, I used to watch like The Lone Ranger and, you know, things like that. But as in actual movies, I don't think I ever sat down and watched a Western. And this came out in the 1980s, which I didn't realize it came out that long ago. But, I mean, of course I knew who Clint Eastwood was from Dirty Harry, and my dad was a huge fan of Clint Eastwood, and he was a huge fan of Westerns. So when this came out, he's like, we're going to go see Pale Rider. And the one thing I remember about this film when it came out in the 80s, nobody made Westerns anymore. It was all, you know, cop movies and science fiction films, and of course Star Wars was still huge back then in the 80s, and just, you know, horror films. Nobody ever made Westerns. So when Clint Eastwood brought this Western out, everybody was going crazy, like, oh, they're bringing back the Western. I can't believe they actually made a new, and it was like this big deal that they made a Western. And truthfully, they don't really make Westerns anymore now, so which is ridiculous. The last couple of Westerns, real good Westerns we have both been remakes, with The True Grit and The Magnificent Seven. I mean, come on, give us a new Western. Give us another Pale Rider or an Unforgiven. Stop giving us remakes of Westerns. But, alright, let's talk about Pale Rider. Now, again, you know, it really started my, I guess, my love of Westerns. And I love Westerns. I don't ever talk about that on here. I love Westerns as much as I like horror films or science fiction films or action films or whatever. I love a great Western, and this movie is what did that to me. Just, you know, the opening shot of the horses running through the woods, and just the grit and the dirt and the dust and all that. I mean, and I remember watching this, and the little town they go into is like, you know, 5 buildings, and that's the town. And I was like, that's so cool. Middle of nowhere, little town. And I don't know, it brought back the great stuff that was in the Western. It gave you what you wanted to see, I guess you can say. And I've seen all of Clint Eastwood's Westerns since this one, obviously now. But again, Clint Eastwood is Clint Eastwood. I mean, he is the ultimate cowboy. I mean, he just has that look. And when Clint Eastwood gives you that look, you better be gone. You better be already halfway across the town and over the hill and past the stream and gone, because, you know, you don't want to get that look from Clint Eastwood. And what's so great about him is he doesn't even have to say much. He just has to give you that look. You know, I tried, but... So, yeah, and the thing about this is it's a great story. The story here is so good. And it's about just a plain, simple, you know, beginning, middle, end. You have the good guys, you got the bad guys, you got the stranger who comes into town who don't have a name. And again, that is awesome. And, you know, he's trying to help out the good people against the evil people. That's all you need. And that's really, a lot of people forget that. I mean, you can tell a great story by simple explanations of, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys, this is the guy who's going to kick your butt. I loved how he was a preacher in this film, or pretended to be a preacher in this film. And that was great. And I love the mining, and, you know, the guys trying to get the mine. Everything about this film is great. And of course, the classic, the hickory stick in the beginning, you know, nothing like a good piece of hickory. And that line is still stuck with me all these years. And it's just an amazing line. And again, this was when he was in his prime. And, you know, back when he was still doing the Dirty Harry movies. And for him to come out with a Western, he had a lot of balls. I mean, it was like nobody was making them, and if anyone was going to make one, it was going to be Clint Eastwood, and it was going to be a classic. And this is what this movie is. This is a classic. And if you've never seen Pale Rider, I highly recommend you see it. because it's just a great story with great acting. You know, it has everything you want in a Western. It's like the 1, 2, 3 step Western here. I mean, this is how you do the Western, and Clint Eastwood does it the very best. And do yourself a favor, and even if you don't like Westerns, maybe this will be the Western that will convince you that Westerns are cool, and they are cool. They're as cool as any action car chase, any space battle, any, you know, dark, scary horror film. Westerns are cool, and it's so unfortunate that people can't make an original, fun, awesome Western anymore. I guarantee you. Oh, I forgot, you know, okay, well, there's also Quentin Tarantino. I forgot his movies, and yeah, I shouldn't have, because Django was outstanding, but again, it's not Clint Eastwood. So if you haven't seen Pale Rider, I couldn't recommend this movie more. I mean, this is a classic. It's absolute Western at its best. I love the scenery, love the story, everything about the film. And if you haven't seen it for a while, pick up the disc, $7. There's absolutely nothing on this disc. There's not even a trailer. So there you go. There is my thoughts on Pale Rider, my very first Western I ever saw. And I'm curious, what is your first Western? Was it Pale Rider? Was it Unforgiven? Was it something earlier? Or, you know, or maybe it was a Western no one ever heard of. So, love to hear from you. Leave your comments in the comments section below. And if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Box Office Maniacs.